And hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, Lord Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts,
Arch-Lector George,
and Harrison, the Adeptus Historical.
We continue our coverage of Sharp Ends, the next entry in Joe's catalog. And for this episode, we read through Wrong Place, Wrong Time. So let's get started. Folks, usually I start this off by thanking you all, and I will get to that eventually, but we are a little manic during this recording, so you're going to have to forgive us a little bit.
Everybody knows that this is a hard time of year. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got parties going on. Everybody's working.
Everyone just shut the fuck up.
Yep. So moving on to the community interaction segment.
Time out. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We're going to have to move through this quickly. But, George is impatient because it's 4 o'clock in the morning for him. Harrison's getting clawed at by his family, and my ferrets are eating my asshole out right now. So, anyway.
You said you liked the last one.
It's a bit of a wild night, everybody. It's a bit of a wild night. Sorry. So, listen, we want to thank you for your continued support. We've noticed increasing numbers on our podcast directories, however you call them, and we think it's because of the Reddit. Our return to Reddit, our glorious shining light of a return to the land of, I guess, where they
non-obscurity.
Well, that, and I was going to say something. Probably I was going to get us banned, so I'm probably not going to say it. But, a place where they allow certain kinds of people that we wish the death penalty on. But we want to thank everyone. And at this point, if you're a new listener, you might be a new listener on December 10th, 2025. But by the time you get to this recording, you're not going to be necessarily a new listener if you've gone through the entire catalog.
We really can't say new listener, so all of our stuff is staggered. So when you get to this, we recognize that you've been listening for a couple of years, probably.
Yes, and we so love it. We love it. We love you. And if you're truly a dedicated person, you would be binging multiple episodes a day just to catch up. So see how that goes. I want your lives to revolve around us. Okay, That's what I want. Now,
we found out during our Spotify wrapped up that at least 20 people listened to our episode within a day of it coming out. So, you guys, you're the real stars, right?
Yeah,
20 people.
Everybody else, you can get fucked.
I would like that number to increase to at least 20. I would like that number to increase to at least 28. All right, please. At least 28 a day.
Yeah, that's right. We're a corporation now. Now we're running the numbers.
Yeah, we gotta do the whole profit margins and all this, and our EBITDAs and our KPIs.
As we're good year over year.
We should leverage this to our use case. Whatever.
Great point, Jeffrey. We'll circle back on that later.
Let's circle back. Fucking shit shit I hear in my job all the time, which I do love my job. Please don't get it misconstrued.
You are a slave.
Slave. So we will move on to our community interaction segment. This one will be a quicker one, and it is a segment of penance. George, get on your knees and self-flagellate. Go for it.
Well, in the long-running tradition of me getting everything wrong, at this point, for everybody that's listening live when this episode comes up, the memeing every chapter for Sharp Ends is not completely taken. There are still a couple of chapters that are still open. I've taken one of them, but there are 2 or 3 still there that we really need to get them filled. Somebody needs to do them. But the Bloody Niner can't do all of them. He can't do all of them by himself. So, come on, guys.
Yep, seriously. Has Tam O'Bore made a triumphant return or no?
He hasn't made one for the Sharp Ends so far.
Tam O'Bore, I'm calling you out.
To be fair, maybe the people who are both kind of crossed into the House of Meme Maker and us, maybe they were listening to the podcast because busy life, busy time. They listen to it on the road, and they're like, "Oh, they've already filled up the other slot, so I'm in the clear." You're not anymore. That's right. It's like the IRS. You thought you were good? Not anymore.
Not anymore. Harrison, did you recently become an initiate of the Blue Man Group? Oh, never mind. This man, folks, for you guys that are listening, and well, really, only you can listen because we don't video record Harrison's video. He just went completely blue. I don't know what he was looking at, but were you watching the new Avatar movie? Was that it?
Anyway.
Yes. And then I'm sorry. Again, Little Manic.
This is the circle of the world, the massive and number one purveyor of misinformation, as always.
Misinformation or disinformation, would you say?
I am an agent. I am the arch lector. I am the agent.
He is the arch lector, folks. Maybe this was his plan all along to subvert and then perform a coup on the House of the Meme Maker and supplant Sir Spaceman as the true leader of that subreddit. We will never know, or will we? If Sir Spaceman dies. Anyway, let's move on to our next segment. And this is another Georgia one, back to back, folks. This is our best meme of the week. Georgia boy, this is you. Take it away.
So this is the memeing of a chapter for Sharp Ends, and it is the bloody niner again.
Oh, God.
And it's actually a little spin on what we were talking about on the chapter on Skipping Town when Jafra pulls a sword out. It's the one where it's actually a combination of memes. So it's the one where he closes his eyes and looks away, and then Eric Andre shoots the guy and says, "Why did somebody do this?" And Chev, close your eyes, Jafra. It's okay, it's safe now. But she's just pulled out a gun and shot him.
That's hilarious.
I know I didn't do a good job of explaining that, but I don't think anybody could do a good job of explaining that.
Not verbally.
But yeah, I absolutely agree. I reckon Jafra just has a gun. She's like, everybody close their eyes, and she pulls out a gun and shoots. That's what that blinding light is. Nobody knows what it is. Bang.
Oh, so maybe the same thing happened in the last episode when she's like, "Get off my partner," and then bam, 50 cal bullet to the head, explodes it all over Chev. Chev's just like,
yeah, Javra's sword is just a 50 cal BMG.
That's it. That's why she keeps it wrapped and not in a scabbard. Oh, Joe, you said you weren't gonna do firearms, but you lied to us, you son of a bitch. You lied to us.
So yes, thank you very much, Bloody Niner, our number one fan. We love you very much, and thank you so much for that, man. It's a fucking delight.
We appreciate it. We appreciate you, Bloody Niner. You are just a loyal guy through and through. First Law, House of the Meme Maker, Circle the World.
Great guy.
So now we'll get through our chapter read through, which is Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Folks, this is a fun one because we start off in Westport, but basically we're in Styria in spring of 580. Now, if you had been following us for quite some time, which we hope you have been, you know that in this time period in Styria, this has been covered by Best Served Cold. And now what we have here are a few POVs. Let me rephrase that. A few unfortunate POVs that have met certain endings, let's say, through each almost
you
like
call them sharp ends.
Let's just say they were left on the cutting room floor.
The cutting. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, folks. So this is another version of like Joe's infamous Little People chapters, and we start off with POV from Canto Sylvine or Sylvine. And Canto Sylvine is what we would call, Harrison, what was the word?
I'm not using it. I don't agree with it.
You don't agree with it? Okay, George, do you have the word for it?
I would say that Canto Sylvine is a little bit of a weakling. He's a little bit of a sad man. He's just a little bit of a... I don't know. Do you
Yeah.
want to say it, Jeff? I don't know.
All right, hold on. Wait. I got this, folks. I got this. Kanto actually is a mirror reflection of what a lot of guys do, right? Where they just they're not all that they can be, you know? They're not the providers that they strive to be, that they dream to be. They live in their fantasy world as opposed to the real world. So Kanto works for the Westport arm of Valentin Balk Bankering
Jeffrey, I'm
Incorporated.
sorry, I forgot you were educated. That was great.
That was very good. Yeah, that was excellent.
Yeah, of course I'm educated. I just talk like an asshole. That's all. Jesus.
But yeah, Kanto works for Ballant and Bulk. He has a little family. Obviously, they live in
Westport.
Westport. And he has a wife, and he works in the banking house on the unfortunate day when Morpheus poisons all of the ledgers. I just want to talk about this little intro bit where he's talking to his wife, and his wife comes in and she's like, Kanto, Cancelarius, and he's like, oh God, only my mum uses that name. Oh God. And immediately you can tell just from that sentence, he's like, oh God, his wife just fucking hates him.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know, because he goes only his mother and his wife when she meant to give him a lecture, right?
Which
And-
seems like often.
Huh? It
Which
seems
seems
awful.
often. Yeah.
But here's what I was like referring to in my earlier initial description of Kanto. And like I've actually been there. I'll be honest with you. I've been there. You guys know my previous situation. I've been there where you kind of like you lie to yourself, and by lying to yourself, you're not really you're not authentic. And if you're not authentic, right, then what you are is you're just trying to be what somebody expects you to be, right? What you hope to be. So like Kanto is here. He's working for Valen and Balk. We learn here that he lies to his wife, right? Everything that's wrong with Kanto's life is his fault. Let's just be clear about that. Rereading this chapter, you are like, oh yeah, well his wife is right to be upset. You said we was not going to stay here. We're not going to stay here for too long. This is a shitty apartment. We got a baby, right? Is she pregnant as well? Is there another on the way?
She's pregnant and they have a son as well.
Yeah, exactly. So they have a kid and she's pregnant. And he's like, yeah, so Malthus, we remember Malthus, promised me a raise and a promotion. And she's like, really? And he's like, uh-huh. And then internally, he's like, I don't think Malthus even knows my name. fellas, for all the fellas in the building, right? Raise your hands up to the sky. Don't lie to yourself and don't lie to your wife. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But then we also find out later that he is like, there's no chance that he's ever going to get a raise because Baez runs this fucking institution, so nobody gets a raise.
Whoa. Hold on. Wait. No, Baez needs his people to be, this is the true like hyper capitalist, like John D. Rockefeller. The people under that,
I have a thought on this, how this works.
Oh, go for it.
So Valen and Bulk are one of the safest, most secure, most reputable institutions in all the circle of the world, bar none. Mm-hmm. So working there, you're going to get a salary in a time like this for what? Knowing numbers, being a clerk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be fire. Malthus obviously worked his way up.
Yeah.
You have a corporate structure in a world without corporations. So it's actually, I would say, a pretty fucking good job. It just doesn't pay as much. If you said, like you said, if he got this job and worked his way up before he got married or some other shit like that, or been smart about it, or had some critical thinking skills, who knows? Maybe he would be in a better spot. So I think the job is actually pretty sweet.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel exactly the same way. I think that, there's obviously a lot of things that we don't know about the way that he works or the job that he does. Maybe he just isn't justified for having a raise or something like that.
Yep.
But at the same time, I feel like this is like the opposite of like the ruthlessness thing that we learned with Glockton. Like ruthlessness is the thing that gets you ahead. and because he isn't ruthless, and because his boss is ruthless, that's why he get a raise. And so it's like sort of like a twisting around of the values that we've learned from the original trilogy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But you know, it's also like I was a little mistaken here. Malthus had spoken to him 3 months prior, and that was to correct him over a mistake he made in his calculations, right? So it sounds to me like Kanto just doesn't have it, man. He just doesn't have it. Sorry.
Math is hard, right?
Maths is hard, right? As the British are wont to say.
I think because it's a relatively good job, you know, like he's super replaceable. Everyone's going to want a job at Bound and Bulk, but you have a steady salary and you go to work in a safe place and there are benefits and you have an opportunity to make more in the future. Everybody's going to want to work there if there's no other opportunity. So I think that like he's easily replaceable. So why even give him credit if he fucks up once or twice? Whatever.
Right.
Absolutely. And we can talk about job ethics and all that all day, but let's continue on with the story.
Yeah. And funny enough, so like he doesn't like make any complaints to the upstairs neighbors that are making, you know, so much noise. He even calls himself like if he was at least half a man, he would have said something. He doesn't. This is what I mean. Be authentic. Stand your ground. Doesn't. And then after he lies to...
Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just want to say, just in this little part, the Stephen Pacey audiobook, the part where he says, when his wife says, you should just be a man, it's like, I am a man.
It's really funny.
Yeah, us men. That's how you get under our skin, by saying we're not men, and then we're like, "Oh my god, stop it! I'm a man, stop it." So, Benna. What's his wife's name? Hold on, Mimi. So after he lies to his wife, and he goes to work, at some point, this is the day of, folks, of when Monza and Shivers go into the bank to like just see like, oh, what, you know, oh my god, I'm blanking on his name.
Monza wants to see
Morveer. Morveer. No, to see the handiwork of Morveer, and so. Sylvain,
I do like that little detail, like the his workday starts with him closing his ledger.
Yeah,
and obviously
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then apparently he goes up, he sees Malthus with like, you know, his other underlings. He goes up to Malthus, and I'm wrong here because Malthus does know his name. He goes, yes, Sylvain or whatever the fuck his name is. And then Kanto was so confused because he was like, you know my name?
And Malthus is like, yes, I know the name and the occupation and the salary of every person that works for us in Syria, and I hate it when anything is changed.
What can I do for you? Kanto goes, well, see, sir, the thing is, and now he's sweating, right? And he's trying, you know, like tug his collar loose to get some air in because he's so like nervous about he's gonna build up the nerve. He's gonna do it to ask for a raise. He's gonna do it. And then Malthus is like, okay, yeah, time is money. Hello. Valentin Bulk does not look kindly upon wasted money. And then, you know, he's nervous. You know, Kanto's like, oh my God. And then we hear somebody in the back row say, give him some air. And then he keeps saying, the thing is, the thing. And then Malthus doubles up. Uh-oh. And now Kanto's like, wait a minute. My knees are giving out. My throat's closing. What's happening here, folks? What's happening? and he looks, he's like almost falling over. He sees that Malthus is already falling over. And someone's trying to turn him over and give him some air. And Malthus is pointing and staring at a woman, a pale woman whose eyes burned bright behind the black hair. And Malthus is mouthing... Mow. A lot of alliteration here. A lot of moo, ma. But Malthus started to flop. Kanto is, you know, obviously not feeling well here either. And at this point, now there's like people were screaming plague because everyone's just dropping like flies. And then he tries to get up, even though people are like stamping over him. He catches a knee to the fucking back, right?
Oh, I find it so sad that like one of the last things that he thinks about is like, oh, maybe this isn't the right time to ask for a raise.
You're just sad.
Like that's your dying thought. Like you're dying. Yeah. You're like, oh shit.
He's somebody who lacks so little. He has so little thinking skills that he is not even in the same planet whenever he's dying.
Or maybe in his moments of death, he achieved a higher level of percipience, whatever, and he's like, wow, I can't really. I was worried about a raise, and then dies. Never know. But folks, that's exactly what happened. He just could not breathe, and he died. So that's the end of this one POV. Poor Kanto. We hardly knew ye. and then we're in Sapani. We switch over to Sapani, and we meet this one appreciated. We appreciate this lady of the night. Her name is Anna. And I'm saying Anna as in Onna, not honor as if I was a British person, right, George? How would you say?
To be fair, I've only listened to the audiobook until now, and I've just read it in the actual book, and it is Honor. Honor.
Anna.
Honor.
No, say honor.
Honor. How do you say it?
I say honor and Anna. Completely. Well, I don't know where you got that from there, buddy. But anyway, so Anna is over here. So Anna is over here in Cardati's House of Leisure. Folks, we know what goes down here. So there are a couple of other ladies of the night. There's a Marilee. There's a...
She doesn't spend too much time on each of them. There's like the career whore, there's the whore who gets everything she wants, even though she's the biggest bitch. There's they all have like the kind of stereotype. But Anna, interestingly, is super anti-stereotype. She's like, just this.
She's a sweetheart.
She's just a sweetheart girl who is trying to make it on her own, and horn's the best way to do that. So she's just it's just a job, but her heart's not really in it. She really wants to be a writer. No. But her book sucks. She's so distracted with work. And who knows if they're actually going to take off? And she's totally. The thing I like about these two at least, and honestly even the last one, is these are like working class people, like just through and through, just in a bad time, in a bad place. Hence the name of the chapter. And they really are just trying to make it. It actually gives you such a good glimpse into the life of like somebody who's just living a normal life inside the First Law compared to the kings and the queens and the people. And Joe does this in the Little People chapters, but these ones do them differently because these ones are unassuming. They're not a part of an event. They're just bystanders, basically.
Yeah, exactly. These are the bystanders of events. Like as opposed to like a Little People chapter where it first kind of got like popular was in the heroes, right? And all of them were there for a reason. They had to be there because of the military, because of the Union Army or what have you, or the Northern Army. Here, these are people that were just like, this is my job, my day to day. I'm a banker. I'm a lady of the night. I'm just trying to do my thing. And next thing you know, shit goes out at it's the fan.
It's something that you don't really see in fantasy novels that, the main character comes through and just blows through these people's lives and they just get caught up in it.
Caps off to Joe, man. He does it so well. And I like how they see Monza and Vitari, right?
I just want to say this part is especially awful when I think it was one of the ladies of the night, as you put it, Jeff. It's like I'm like roast beef down there. It's like I told you to put a bit of olive oil on it. That really brings home that's disgusting. That's awful.
You know what I love though about that?
What?
I love the fact that Joe does such a good job at being like, yes, these are service people and they talk a certain way. whenever they're not around a
It's
customer,
authentic.
right?
It's authentic.
It's authentic, right? It's
Yeah.
a very authentic, and I think it's the way he captures so many like little side moments so well because somebody's just talking how a person would talk. Like, oh man, at my job, I'm in customer service, and somebody
Yeah.
get off the phone. I'm like, yes, sir, no problem, of course. I love you. I'll birth your child.
I
don't
love
give a
you.
fuck.
What? Wow, you told him you love him?
And then right after they get off the phone, I'm like, man, what a bitch. Somebody roll up on the drive, and we're like, oh, I hate this guy. Hello, good to see you again. Like, that's what these girls are like. They're just like, oh, this fucking guy. I fucking hate this guy. He's in here every night. What a fucking bitch. And they're like, hi, ready for your usual.
And again, I do like the fact that Anna she sees Vitari and Monza going in. She's like, oh, I don't like the look of them. And then she sees Koska, and it's like, oh, I don't like the look of him. And then she sees Gorsa, like, I don't like the look of him.
I don't like the look of him.
And we know these people are all bad people. So she's completely right.
Yes. She is absolutely completely right, as she should be. Poor thing. And what you were saying, Harrison, it's Joe does it so well. I think he's the only writer to be honest. Actually, no. There are a couple that might do it, but it's like in passing. But at least here, what you see with Joe is you see like a real big focal point, right? Like, these chapters, these POVs, and he puts a lot of time. This isn't like just like a paragraph or two. And the raw beef thing is wild. I'll say that. Fucking Christ. So anyway, that's they see Vitari and Monza because they're dressed like ladies of the night. I'm not gonna call them hookers or anything because Whores. Too late. And because I said it, I guess so. It's already true. So anyway, but we know that they're going up to the VIP levels of the club, right? Mm-hmm. And then Koska comes. They see Koska. We know it's Koska because it's a fellow with wax whiskers and a tall hat flicked with a bright handkerchief, and he gave a flourishing bow.
And also, she can see that there's something wrong with his eyes. Yes, that's absolutely Koska, right down to the bone. There's something wrong with this man.
And I like how he bows to them. He's like, a most profound honor. And he like staggers away. And then merrily like, silly old cock.
I do want to point out as well, this is one of the only times, maybe 2 or 3 times, that Stephen Pacey gets the voice wrong.
What do you mean?
Because he does a completely different voice from Koska for this character.
Yeah.
It's just like a generic Union.
You know what's interesting? Since we talk about spoilers now, he does the same thing in Cardotti's House of Leisure.
With Friendly as well.
Friendly, yes. Inside the Age of Madness, that's so interesting.
He gets it this is clearly Koska. This is clearly Koska, right?
Yeah. I just think maybe, this is a shorter recording, so maybe he didn't manage to interface with Joe so well, so he didn't know which voice to do, and maybe he didn't realize that this was, he hasn't read these books as much as we have. Let's be honest.
This is true. Neither is Joe.
I don't think.
Neither is Joe. I was gonna say it's Joe's fault.
We have.
It's Joe's fault. So the party is going around. They're having fun. Well, the attendees are having fun, and then at some point, Merrily or Bellet is like, "This one's yours," and even though Anna's like, "Ooh, I don't know if I like the look of this guy," she's like, "You don't like the look of anything. Fucking take him." Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I thought it was the pimp, judging by Pacey's voice.
No, Bellet.
It's the madam. It's the madam. Yeah,
it's the madam. Okay,
you're absolutely right. Yeah.
I mean, Bellet,
that part where she says you don't like fucking anything, it sounds so vicious. Like you don't like fucking anything.
Oh, okay.
It's really fucking vicious.
No, gotcha. Okay, but Bella is a lady, and so is Merrily. And so, just there you go.
That's just the superior lady.
Superior. And anyway, so she sees the person that they're talking about is a giant of a man, a clenched fist.
Neck.
Huh?
And a funny voice.
Well, hold on. We didn't get there yet. Hold on. Great bull shoulders, no neck, he's in armor, which is odd because no one's supposed to have weapons here. But I guess apparently he's some rich man's guard. But she goes with him, and then she asks him what's his name, and he goes, Bremer. What's your name?
Which I love how everybody who hears Gore's voice are always just like, oh.
Oh,
like no one's ever like, you piece of shit, you have a tiny voice, you disgust me, like that's what Brimmer thinks is happening, but they're just like, oh, whoa, what a surprise. Okay.
Yeah. Wow, big man, little voice,
Anyways, so they get in the room and she's like, oh great, like he's gonna fucking kill me, like this guy's huge, he's got a sword, he always gets what he wants because he's a big man,
he's gonna do some violent stuff.
He's gonna do some violent stuff, and
she says after he asks what her name is, she goes, "Oh, I can be whatever you want to be," that classic line. And he goes, "Can I call you Finn?"
Which tells us that he's been using Finn as a stand-in whore for a long time now.
Yeah, this is how long before the Heroes? This is 3 or 4 years before the Heroes, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, like almost 5, if I'm not mistaken. However, Harrison, I agree with you, but I will say there's another side to it, right? He's in his eyes, right? In Bremer's eyes, at least what he tells himself, he's been in love with Finn, right? So he's,
I think that's really interesting. The fact that he thinks he's in love, but he's not really. He's just infatuated.
He just no, not even. I don't think he's infatuated. I think he just wants to possess Finn.
Yeah.
It's definitely a very possessive, one-sided kind of relationship.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Relationship is completely the wrong word.
Dynamic.
Dynamic is a very good one.
Perception. Can you imagine if like all the ladies of the night that Bremer has gotten with, let's just say they all survived and they all just ran into Finn. Like, wow, we're all Finn, it looks like.
But at the same time, I feel like from the interaction here between Gorst and Honor, that it's probably one of the first times that he's ever done this because he just wants to lie down and have a cuddle.
This giant. Go ahead, Harrison.
She goes to start working, and he's like, "Oh, how about we just lay down? Can you just
hold me?"
He lays on her and he goes, "Hold me."
Exactly. But think just like the thing that strikes me about this, right, is like really think about what where they are, right? They're sitting on the edge of the bed, right? This is a man that's what, 6'7", 6'8", 250, like he's a giant man. This poor girl. He's a big boy. She's what? I don't even know how, but she's got to be smaller than him. And he just leans over and lays in her lap in armor, right? So you got to imagine like her thighs got to be like, oh fuck.
While he's meant to be guarding the king as well.
Right, because we know Giselle's out there getting cracked by Monza or whatever.
Which again, it's very infuriating that Gorst thinks of Finreed in this way and thinks of women in general in this way. But at the same time, it's very sad that he is starved for this kind of affection.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's very, very sad, and obviously it's almost his fault.
Yeah,
it's almost definitely his fault, but.
I'm expecting some serious mommy problems for characters in the next series.
Oh dear, yeah.
I like the part because obviously he's drunk too, right? Because they talk about that in the Heroes. He's wasted right now, and he starts crying. But what I like about Anna's character is she's like, oh, this isn't too bad, like I'd rather do this, like she's just such a sweet girl. She just wants to write books. She's just doing her thing. And she hears him cry, and so she starts like shushing him like a baby, which, okay, she's doing her thing. But then, in her mind, she started cradling him and holding him just like she did with her sister. And I think the way Pacey delivers that line is very sentimental, very soft. Like she had forgotten about it, and I think that's so impressive that like with like a simple, little connected memory into someone's brain. Like it provides so much humanity for her. Like that's what she recognizes, that she used to take care of her sister. That tells us a lot about her anyways, and that's just interesting, and to wonder where they're at now. And so I really like that small section, that little phrase there.
Well put.
Yeah, absolutely. And while all this is going on, as she's like caressing him and making him feel safe and secure, there's like a crashing sound. There's like a shattering of glass and a crashing sound out by the window, but they don't really look until they notice that outside the window things starting to get a little a bit more orange, a bit more yellow and red, and what have you. And she what's going on here?
The sounds of the pretend fight slowly turn into the sounds of a real fight.
Yep, and like screams that sounded worryingly like rage and pain and very genuine terror. And so then Bremer's head goes up. He's like, "What the fuck's going on out there?" And then he's like, he goes to the window and I guess he sees the chaos and he's like, "The cake!" Yeah. Yes, very much like that. And so he leaves. Right, he charges through the room, and so she's left behind, and she's trying to get out. She gets out into the hallway, right, and poor Anna. At this point, the flames are pervading throughout the entire building, right? We can't forget that, like, how much like smoke inhalation just kills people, right? I always thought, for some reason, the last time I read Sharp Ends was like a few years ago, and for some reason, I thought Anna was the one that, quote unquote, unfortunately met Shivers when he accidentally, remember? And
to be fair, that would be like a thematic thing, wouldn't it? If all of our characters in this chapter met their ends directly,
right? This is indirectly, so
it would have gone against the thematic theme that he was going for with this set of stories, but it would have been thematic in the overall story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, long story short, Anna doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't make it. She
doesn't make it.
Kicked, and she tries to get away. That's just probably smoke inhalation.
And just like Kanzo, she cries out to the world, and nobody listens.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She cries out for help, but no one listens, and she just, as we can imagine, just chokes to death. Poor Anna. Poor Anna. Well, if we can find any solace, is that we probably think that Merrily and Bellet died too. Those bitches. Fuck them bitches.
Oh, especially Merrily, because she punched her in the face.
Yeah, fuck her.
I love that bit when Anna comes, like, Merrily, like, tries to grab her for help. She just punches her in the face. Fuck you.
Well, no, Anna punched her in the face. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I mean. Yeah, Anna punches her.
Yeah. She lights her the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get. I didn't want to fuck this bull of a man. How dare you? Anyway, so then we switch on over to Austria in the summer of 580. Now, folks, we know what happens in Austria. Duke Rogan, barebacks Monza. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the battle before that. Anyway, so this is So we meet this gentleman. I'm sorry, folks. I'm a little amped up. So we meet this gentleman named Predo or Predo.
Hey, hey, we're back to stereo. We're finally back to the names.
I put it off as much as I can, but I can't. It just came out. I'm sorry. Canto Savine.
Gabagool.
Hey.
And so
she used to take care of his sister,
This is the last stereotype that you're allowed to take the piss out of. So we gotta milk it.
Yes. So Prado, his first line is, "Can I get a circle, please?"
No, that's enough, Jeff. Calm down.
Sorry. So our boy Prado, this is a kid. This is a guy that's he's been around the block. Let's say he's stolen he's a cup purse. He's also been a gentleman of the night, as we like to call, specifically for.
He's like, I was a thief until I nearly got caught, and then I was on the lookout for some thieves until they did get caught. And then I was like, maybe I should do something less dangerous.
But mostly, he sucked cocks. So he worked in a
brothel.
brothel.
Realize until like 2 seconds ago, and now you're like, you suck cocks.
Honestly,
a lot of cocks.
The best cocks, the only cocks.
Dude, you should not do that in Donald Trump's accent. You're gonna get arrested one day.
I'm gonna have to delete this too. See, hold on. I remember when I read it yesterday. I remembered this, but then today, like I don't know, I just got caught up in the Italian accent.
Something I like about
Go ahead.
Fredo is that he's like, whenever he's talking about like he's like, yeah, I used to, I worked in a whorehouse for a while. He's like, but he didn't get as much business as the girls. Women are a lot more popular than men, and he was like, it just doesn't make sense though. If you wanted if you have a cock, wouldn't you want somebody who knew the way around one? I have
somebody who
an expert
knows how to use it. Yeah,
I have used that line for people in real life before. That's one that I always forget about, and then I just use. No, what I mean is like somebody who's like, if they're homophobic or something, I'm like, blah blah blah. It's such a funny way because it makes logical sense, but it bothers them even more than the actual fact that somebody's gay. So I've used it.
You can see the wheels turning.
Yeah, they're like
I would like that.
Wait a minute.
No. Anyways, I like that fact. Also, I like too that we have this difference in the same book that this is taking place in Hysteria. We know that in the Union, it's like taboo to be gay. Like you could do it, but not in high society. Whereas here, there are.
We know that Gammark got
Gammark. He was
yeah. So I like that there's this consistent like. Joe has these moments in time. And
continue. Joe has these moments in time.
Joe has these moments in time where he is talking about like a culture, and there's always these consistent things. Like there's not a lot of things he has that are like, wow, look at the in-depth culture he created. He's not a world builder, but he's consistent. He's very consistent. If Styrians are like this, he's going to stick to it. It's usually simple. Styrians are, sexually fluid. They don't give a fuck. Your bed, your place. They're very diverse though, and they are very. They're very like they have a Latin culture. Is what I'm trying to say. And so, and the Northmen have similar stuff, and so does the Union. I just love how like there are these very simple things that really help line up the culture as its own thing in the Circle of the World. I think that's really cool. Yeah. He does it very simply.
He does. And it's interesting, like, when Prado gets thrown out of the whorehouse, he signs up for the army of Grand Duke Orso's, Talon's an army and everything. And he thinks it's going to be a cakewalk. 3 months later, they're out there, it's about to siege, Austria, or at least go into battle at Austria. So he's like, how the fuck? Anyway, long story short, to his initial question about, like, can he get a surcoat? This gentleman named Frankie says that surcoats are for veterans, right? And for everybody else in this squad, let's just say, they have surcoats. This will come into play, folks. George, do you want to say anything about this interaction between him and the squad?
Well, I like the fact that it's like a very like. This is what happens to every single soldier when they first sign up in this kind of period of time. The first few months. Really nice. Oh yeah, great bunch of lads. We're sitting around the fire. We've got good food, good clothes, nice tent. This is great. This is better than what I was doing before. And then you actually have to do the soldiering part, and it's not so good.
It's not so good. Yeah, and we can imagine that Prado probably he had it easy, right? Because Monza, when she was at the head of the was it 1,000 Swords, something like that? The 1,000 Swords. Mm-hmm. She cleared a lot of the path, right, already. So,
well, I think too. Later on, in the time period after Casca leaves and she's in charge, she does more than just command the 1,000 Swords. She may not be directly commanding Orsa's army, but she's directing it. So, like, that's what the sergeant guy too is like. Oh yeah, like life was good. Like Monza. There's this little comment that they like. I hear that the Snake of Talents is going to be there, the Butcher of Capril. And they're like, ooh. But the sergeant is like, yeah. It's like, is she really all they say she is? And he's like, yeah, that and more. Like, he's respectful of her. I think that's really good, like, world building to show that, like, as a soldier, has nothing but respect for her. They just happen to be on wrong sides. Everyone's afraid of them, but he's like, no, that woman's, she's smart and cunning and ruthless, and she's, I like that. I think it's done really well.
I think one thing that would have made this specific section better is that there isn't really any mention of the Thousand Swords themselves. Like, surely the Duke Orso's army would have been aware that Koska's Thousand Swords are up on the hill going to reinforce them.
They're going to reinforce this. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
but it never happened.
No, because basically what happens is, even though they don't give Prado a surcoat, they get ready to go to battle with Duke Rogan's army, and what they think is going to be a wash because they got it all figured out. They have the Thousand Swords on their side. They have, I don't know if I would say they have the land on their side, but well enough. And then it turns out, there's a bit of a break, and then shit has hit the fan, right? They're in the river fighting violently, obviously, against Duke Rogan's army, and the Thousand Swords have, quote unquote, betrayed them or not. But then we also had the Sipanese troops come in to take them in the rear.
I mean, it's not that much. It's kind of like with the others. It's just kind of this action-y. A lot of the stuff that we see here has already been in their heads. The main thing is that Prado is, he's just doing what he can in his life, kind of like the other two characters, but he's just a bit more freelance, free roam. He's a bit more careless, less of a, he's just doing his thing. He seems very, like if he would land it on the right spot, he would actually do really well. He's just looking for family, looking for belonging. So that's the main part of this chapter, is just his internal stuff. And then this fight here, the fighting in the water. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I love Joe's characters, but like these little side characters, I don't remember their names. There's the sergeant guy who is, he's kind of badass. Everyone else is kind of afraid. They see Monza charge in. The sergeant guy stands up and goes, "Charge! After them, lads!" Like, it's actually pretty cool. I put him in the same category as like, the guy going up on the horse at the Heroes, going up the hill on the horse, who's just completely brave out of his mind.
Oh, right.
Or Sergeant Forrest, or there's a couple of these soldier types inside the books, and they're like they're just badass. They're cool. I like them. But unfortunately, they're fighting Shivers, and they all die. Simple as that.
Shivers and Monza.
Shivers and Monza. Now, interestingly, we actually do see these people directly encounter the people close to him, the enemy, because Monza is fighting with multiple of them. She is able to get one of them, and then the sergeant has her on the back foot, and then she gets up. She does that motion she does in the book. She pulls her knife out and gets him really quick, but she's also super worn out. And Shiver saves her, and everybody is like, the battle's like now over. It's kind of like that sudden moment where everyone realizes, oh, it's over. And we get to see it from Prado's perspective, that whenever Shivers is holding Monza, he's actually looking at Prado, as Prado is like, ooh, this is my moment. Maybe I can kill the Butcher of Capril. Maybe I can be the hero. And then he sees that middle eye, and he's like, maybe not. And then he starts cheering. He starts cheering with the Austrians, because he's like, hey, I don't have a surcoat. How are they gonna know the difference?
Victory! Yeah.
He didn't die. He didn't die. Which I love. I love the fact that Prado is the one guy who like doesn't die, even though he's the one in the actual battle. and
he doesn't do what is like stereotypically or like traditionally right and fight for what he believes in. He's just like, ooh, maybe I can get away with this.
Which is so smart. I love that. I love that for him. He also like subverts your expectations in this own little chapter, because you're thinking, oh, this guy's totally gonna get killed by Shivers. You're right. There's got to be. But he subverts it and is like, nope, he lives.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't have a surcoat. And so that's the end of that chapter, folks. Boys, how do you rate it?
I'm gonna give this one quite. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5. I really, really, really like this chapter. I love the fact that we get to see all of the sort of like consequences of the actions of all the characters in Best of Cold that we didn't really get to see, because obviously we only get to see the POVs, and these people are a very special kind of class of people that are above like a normal society in a way, and to see how they affect everybody. I mean, like especially Kanto. I mean, Kanto is one of like what hundreds of like individual stories, and the same with Honor as well. Like there's so many people that just die needlessly because of Monza's quest for vengeance. Yeah, and to see actually what happens to these people down on the ground, I just think that's a really, really interesting and really good way to put it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm gonna 7 just for the same reasons that you gave it, George. It's that in-depth look as to like the ramifications and the consequences of every like one's actions, and for someone like Monza, for her, like vengeance, very very singular minded, very myopic, not necessarily realizing the like the far reaching effects of her decisions, right? And she did like realize it or come to terms maybe with the Valentin Balk episode, really, because of just how psychotic and chaotic that whole thing was. But by seeing these people on the ground level, right, with their day-to-day lives, their day-to-day routines, just humanizing them in our eyes, and then kind of like trying to reconcile that with the storyline of Monza and Besser Cold. It's really well done.
Yeah, you guys basically covered everything, so I'm gonna give it a 7. I really liked it.
You're gonna give it a 7 as well?
I am, yes.
Yeah. Anything you want to add?
No, you guys covered everything, honestly.
We covered everything. Okay. So for our character spot, boys, who are we shining a spotlight on?
Well, it's a little people chapter, Jeff, so we all pick one. And if the people who do you think is our favorite person individually? You all have to pick one, audience.
Okay. Well, I'm an Anna guy, so I'm calling Anna. Calling dibs on Anna.
What?
Go on.
Said it first.
I said go on.
No, because I heard Harrison go, oh. Harrison, go. Who are you choosing?
What?
Yeah, you gotta say something about Anna. You didn't just say.
I thought we were laying claim first.
Because it's a woman, you're gonna just claim her, Jeffrey? Is that why?
Nice try. Because she's such a free spirit, and I wish she, had just better options for her.
She deserved a better life.
She deserved a better life.
I mean, they all deserved a better life, but yeah.
Except Kanto. And I
hey, fuck you.
I pity the soul that picks Kanto.
All right, Jeff.
I fucking love. I love Kanto. I think Kanto is such a sort of like microcosm of the way that people work these days, and the way that people live. Is that they're so scared of changing the status quo. They're so scared of stepping outside their comfort zone that they just accept anything that comes to them. People could be living in fucking squalor, and they're just like, yeah, this is fine, because I can't be bothered doing anything else.
Yeah.
And I can't be bothered to challenge the powers that be. And I think that is such a very good statement, and it's such a sad ending for him.
Yeah.
That he dies thinking about how he can't get a raise.
Can't get a raise, poor guy.
He truly is a victim of capitalism.
Right.
Whoa. He's a victim of his own choices, his inability to be authentic to himself. He could have asked for a raise beforehand if he was good at his job.
Everybody makes mistakes, Jeff.
Pull yourself up by a bootstrap.
It's literally impossible.
Get your second generation ass out of this podcast, Jeffrey. All right?
First generation American, I'll have you know. God damn it.
Second generation immigrant. All right?
Yeah, I guess so. Rude.
Yeah. I wasn't rude. Why is it an offensive? I don't know. That's what you are.
That's what I am.
They're going to send you back to Portugal soon, Jeff.
Oh, no. Not the land.
Anyways. I guess I'm stuck with Pedo.
Mm-hmm. Fredo. Oh my God. Fredo. It's Fredo.
I was saying if Jeff noticed, he said, Fredo. I talked about him quite a bit a minute ago, but I like that Fredo is like just doing his thing. He's got not a care in the world. He does care. He wants family. You know, he wants a better life for himself. But he's not like as bothered. You know, like he doesn't have this baggage with him. I like that he's kind of just this free spirit. He doesn't feel bad about it, but he's also not trying to be some evil bastard. He's just trying to make ends meet. He grew up probably like, you know, an orphan on the streets. He found some good jobs, doing his best, saved up some stuff, lost stuff. Like I like that he is just a free young soul who hasn't given up or been set on something, and he doesn't seem to have that set up yet. So I think it's easy to look at Predo and be like, oh, what a bum. But like, there's a balance there, you know. It doesn't just because somebody isn't working a steady job or have a steady life. Well, you don't know the situation in life. You don't know how far behind they are because of their situation in life. And even then, he's probably living happier than most people alive. So
I agree. To be fair, as much as I like Hunter, I think Predo is such a interesting little character. It's very good.
Yeah.
That's our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you know, this is a passion project for the three of us, and your support means oh so much.
Join us next week as we cover Some Desperado, The Near Country, Summer 584.
And make sure you follow us on all our social media or shoot us an email at circleoftheworldpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast from. And please make sure to rate and review us. Thank you all again for listening.
I am a man